So what do you think is the biggest medical issue here at the University of Delaware?
I'd probably say like the common cold or so, because people tend not to get a lot of sleep and eat a lot of garbage and don't really take care of themselves when they're doing schoolwork and stuff. So personally, I kind of suffer from that too, getting sick like that because I don't get enough sleep.
So you would say that you get a lot of cold just because you don't
Just-
sleep enough?
Yeah, not eating right and worried about school and stuff like that.
And do you think a lot of other students at Delaware have that same problem too?
Yeah, I'd say so, especially when like one person gets it. If you live with a bunch of people, then other people in your house or room or whatever tend to get sick too, and kind of catches like that.
Now, what do you think people outside of the university think the biggest health issue is?
I don't know. I'd probably say the same thing, getting a cold. I feel like that's the most common thing. Like my parents always like let me know, like, make sure you're eating right, make sure you get enough sleep, make sure drinking enough water, not being dehydrated and stuff like that, because that's pretty much the most common thing I feel like most people get around here.
So you don't think that people outside the University of Delaware are thinking that these kids are getting sick because of alcohol or anything?
Yeah, I mean that happens. Don't get me wrong. I've seen it personally with other people I know and stuff, but I feel like it doesn't happen as often as people think. I think people outside will think more people. It happens to more people, but if you actually go here, I don't think you see that as often as parents or outsiders would think.
Yeah. Now, what do you do when you get sick?
Unless it's really bad, I just take some cough medicine, sleep it off, and drink a lot of water. And that's really it. Unless like it's really bad, like a couple times I got strep, so I went to the health center. That's about it.
And how was your experience at Student Health?
So I guess sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I got pink eye one time. They were pretty good about that. Gave me the drops right away and helped me out with that. But sometimes when I had strep throat, they would give me the medicine even though they didn't know if I had strep yet. So I feel like that's kind of not right. Like giving me antibiotics that they're not sure if I even need yet. So I feel like that's kind of an issue.
Okay. All right, well, I think that's it.
That's it. All right.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No problem, man.
So, what do you think is the biggest medical issue here at the University of Delaware?
The lack of comprehensive trans care.
The lack of comprehensive trans care. I haven't heard that one before. And can you give me an example of that?
There is not a comfortable space in student health for a trans student, at least not to the standards that I and other trans students from whom I've heard, not to our standards.
Gotcha. Now, what do you think people outside of the university are going to think is the biggest medical issue?
Probably STDs. At least that's what I've heard. That's what I was warned of before coming here.
So, like, when you go home and you get, like, Thanksgiving dinner with the family, is that something that they talk about a lot?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And a lot of my friends who don't go here, and a lot of friends who do go here, it's a common topic.
So, what do you do personally when you get sick?
Eat some soup with hot sauce and grab the vapor rub and sweat it out. Take a hot shower.
So, you don't go to student health?
Now, I don't really think they even want you to go there if you just have a cold because they can't do anything for you. So I just fix it myself.
Based on what you said before, what is your opinion of student health?
I don't have that much of an opinion. I just know that they have issues with addressing people with their proper name and pronouns. And that's very uncomfortable, especially when you're putting yourself in a vulnerable spot with medical professionals. And it's uncomfortable because then you feel like you can't trust them because they don't believe in your identity and yeah. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want it to be.
All right, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. So, what do you think is the biggest medical issue here at the University of Delaware?
I think it's alcohol use and eating unhealthy. I think is probably the big two.
Now, would you say that's would you give that answer based on like personal experience, like your friends?
It's from The eating is personal experience. It's really easy in the dining halls to have access to unhealthy foods, fatty foods. And as far as seeing other people, friends of mine they've had their eating habits go down and gaining weight, and the prevalence of binge drinking on campus.
Now, what do you think people outside of the University of Delaware think the biggest health issue is?
They would probably say the starting of young adults getting into smoking and drinking, most likely.
Yeah. Now, what have you heard from other people that kind of gives you the impression that that's the view of Delaware's health problems?
I haven't really heard from anyone that I can think of at the moment. Maybe my parents have complained about college students. I'm from this area, so they've made comments about students on Main Street and what they do and that kind of thing.
So what do you do when you get sick?
It depends on the severity. If it was really bad, or if it's something I've had for over a week, I would schedule an appointment with the student health.
And what has your experience with student health been like?
It's been okay. There are definitely improvements that can be made. From my experience in the administration of there being a lack of organization, I've had delays with things that were supposed to be sent over to other doctors, and they didn't really, they've had trouble following up on things in the past with my experience.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
So what do you think is the biggest medical issue here at the University of Delaware?
I think there's just an issue with having a lot of people living really close to one another, especially in freshman dorms. If someone gets sick, everyone gets sick. Issues like that.
Do you have any personal experiences, like your whole floor just gets sick at once?
The stomach flu's gone around a couple times this semester. Various other illnesses. So.
Gotcha. Now, what do you think people outside of the University of Delaware think is the biggest medical issue here?
Definitely related to sleep deprivation. I know whenever I see my parents, they always ask me, are you sleeping enough? Are you getting enough sleep? And of course I have to tell them no. But yeah.
Is there anything specific that people have said to you, other than your parents, that make you think that that's the big issue here?
I don't believe so. I can't remember anything specific, sorry.
And then, what do you do when you get sick?
Usually, I try to just roll with it for a day, see how bad it gets. If it's to the point where I feel like I need medical assistance, I'll go to student health or reach out to someone hey, what do you do with this? But yeah.
And when you go to student health, what is that experience like?
I've always loved the Gatorade, regardless of my issue. I think they usually seat me pretty fast. As soon as I get there, I usually get attended to pretty quickly. However, they don't seem to entirely know what's going on. I've heard horror stories of people coming in with headaches and getting tested for strep, or random things like that. So I don't know.
Do you know if those health issues resolve themselves?
I believe eventually, or they'll go to Newark Urgent Care instead. So.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you very much. And then, what would you say is the biggest health issue here at the University of Delaware?
I would say overdoses, alcohol overdoses, probably one of the main things we run ambulance-wise.
Ambulance-wise? And would you say that that has increased in recent years?
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, it is. I mean, it stays steady at the same pace every year, but you get a little more, a little more. Kids having fun all the time. And get out of hand.
Yeah. And then, because you're a firefighter, obviously you see this more. Do you think that students at the University of Delaware probably have a different perspective on what the biggest health issue might be?
That's a possibility. I mean, no,
Yeah.
yeah, probably. I mean, it was, but long and short of it is, I see it every day.
Right.
The kids go up and have fun, and it doesn't end well.
Yeah.
You know.
So, what do you do when you get sick?
When I get sick,
Yeah.
I go to the doctor.
Go to the doctor?
Yeah. Let the doctor figure out what's going on.
Yeah. So a lot of students here, they come to the University of Delaware and they give up their primary care physician, usually a pediatrician. What do you think that they do when they get sick?
I would hope they would go to the student health center. Some of them that are more local than others may go home,
Yeah.
get checked out. I don't know. I mean, I hope they would go to the student health center, get checked out, and make sure what's going on. I have heard that a lot of university kids, I know a couple that we have here, think it takes a while to get diagnosed or get any kind of medicine or anything like that. But I mean, I personally can't say anything for that.
Right.
That's pretty much what I think they should do is go to the student health center.
Thank you very much.